My name is Mallory, and I'm the County Superintendent of Schools in Imperial County. And I just want to thank two of my heroes who are sitting right here in the front row, Mr. Ron Garcia and Dr. Hasmi Danilian, who both have been in contact with me repeatedly, beginning with the first shakes yesterday, I believe. And we worked through the evening last night, and then again early this morning. Their staffs were on site to do everything they could to try and make sure that schools are safe for kids before opening class, and I commend that. Throughout this whole situation, the main focus has been on, first and foremost, the lens is that are these schools safe enough for us to put our own children in, and we're not opening the doors until they are. And I really appreciate that. Your children in this community are in very good hands with these two leaders at the helm. Today, I know we've had structural engineers on site at both all of the school sites, in both districts, and I believe that an expert from the Department of State Architect arrived later during the day at noon or so today to also join to ensure that all sites are safe, which again is our #1 priority. The Imperial County Office of Education staff has also been on call and very involved with all the preparations that must happen when something like this happens. Yesterday, and I need to publicly thank my team for going out immediately to all of the school sites. And for those of you who aren't familiar with how our program works, we operate classrooms on campuses throughout Imperial County, and we also have schools both in Brawley, El Centro, and Calexico. So someone immediately went out to check all of those and report back to me that our schools were either okay or we needed to get busy and do some repairs or cleanup. That happened very seamlessly. But another thing that happened yesterday during our meeting last evening at Brawley Elementary and Witter School is that because we operate programs all over the county, part of that includes transportation, in which we're very much in partnership with our school districts because the county office does not offer transportation. And Mr. Garcia looked at me and said, "What do you need?" And that to me is the essence of what this whole community has done throughout this, is what do you need to make these things happen and to get things back on track. And I think that that is something for which everyone in this room can be very blessed to live in a community that works that collaboratively together to make sure that things happen. Mayor Nava was there last evening as well. Many of the staff from both school districts. We even had some board members who were checking in throughout the day. And again, we can't say enough about that. Just in closing, I would say, first of all, safety is #1. It trumps everything, and that both of our superintendents clearly reflected that in the decision they made today to make sure schools were safe. And then beyond that, I heard from both of them, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, is that our children deserve an education. And so they're doing everything they can to move mountains to get schools cleaned up and get kids back in class as quickly as possible, and I commend them because that doesn't happen without a lot of hard work behind the scenes. So, as Chief Prohodas mentioned earlier, as did our city manager, Ms. Bayonne Moore, being prepared, I think, is critical, and it's up to each of us as individuals, and in schools we're doing everything we can to ensure that families understand that personal responsibility for individual safety and for family safety is critical to make sure that our emergency agencies can do their job. And part of that for schools, I did it as a teacher, and I know our schools are doing it right now, is for families to have a plan to reunite in case another big one hits and they're not together. So what is that plan? And of course, making sure you have all emergency supplies on hand. Those are critical things that need to happen, and I know our schools are getting that message out, as well as our public agencies. So I want to thank everyone in this room from the bottom of our hearts for what you've done to work together to make sure that we have a safe community.